Well, we finally have Nielsen ratings for The Acolyte. I have been excited for this. Because I think they're one of the better ratings numbers providers out of all of them. They've been at it for a long time. I think they're a lot more reliable than a lot of the other ones. So this is the one that I'm sure most of you have been wanting to hear from. And as you can see from the headline, the ratings were worse than we thought. Disney's Star Wars fan base plummets by 75%. The data reveals the viewership numbers are the second worst for Disney Star Wars. Now a lot of things start to make sense, doesn't it? Now we know why Amandla made that cringy music video, why all these mainstream journalists and media outlets have been going after the fans, why we saw Kathleen Kennedy go out there. She came out of her cave and decided to talk about how it's a real problem, all these men, and they make things uncomfortable for all the women in the fan base. It all starts to make sense, doesn't it? It reeked of desperation, and now we know why. Never forget, Kathleen Kennedy cried when she read these scripts, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is a beautiful thing to see. The Acolyte Nielsen ratings are in, and as expected, they're not good, with the numbers being the second worst for Disney Star Wars. We already knew the viewership was lower than Ahsoka, but it's also been learned that the viewership is much lower than The Mandalorian by what looks to be nearly 75%. It's lower than Kenobi, and it's even lower than Book of Boba Fett. The Acolyte only beats Andor in terms of viewership, and really not by much. Wow, what a best and worst situation. Andor, didn't watch it. I didn't get past the first 2 episodes. I hear, though, it gets good after the 3rd one. And I heard that from a lot of people. I think the Critical Drinker even said that. And I don't want to say Mahler said it. I feel like Mahler said it as well. I think he liked Andor. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that Andor is good. Isn't that funny that the best Star Wars series is the lowest rated? But, they have faith in Andor. I think they do. That's why they're giving it a second season. The Acolyte, not so much. I don't think you're going to see a second season of The Acolyte, at least going off of the things that Leslie Headland has said. She wants that second season, though. I mean, who doesn't? That's a paycheck. The Acolyte also cost nearly double that of Ahsoka, $187 million versus $100 million, while the Nielsen ratings reveal that Ahsoka's viewership is nearly double that of The Acolyte. Disney and Bob Iger definitely can't be happy with these numbers. Nielsen's original streaming ratings for the week of June 3rd through June 9th. Look at that. Oh, The Acolyte, number 7. Number 7. That's sad. What are the Acolyte Nielsen ratings? Nielsen, the industry standard, and that's an important thing to note there. It is. It's the standard. And remember, these aren't the full number. Like, this is just what they have. And we can compare that to numbers they have, right? But it is like a sample of the population. We have an idea of how things are going from this. And by looking at this and comparing it to the other ones, it's not good. Nielsen released its streaming ratings for the week of June 3rd through June 9th. The Acolyte premiered with its first 2 episodes on June 4th. According to Nielsen, the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte were watched for 488 minutes, in the millions. Or if we take the average of the 2 episodes, that's 244. When you compare it to other ones, here is where it gets juicy. Ahsoka, the 2-episode premiere, came back in August 22nd. Was watched for 829 minutes. So that averages to 414.5 per episode. The Mandalorian Season 3 premiered with 1 episode on March 1st for 823. Andor premiered with 3 episodes on September 21st and was watched for 624, an average of 208 per episode. Kenobi premiered with 2 episodes on May 27th for 1,026, an average of 513 an episode. Book of Boba Fett premiered with 1 episode on December 29th, 2021. They're all different years, but for 389. Mandalorian Season 2 premiered with 1 episode on October 30th for 1,031. We don't have the Nielsen numbers for Mando Season 1 back in 2019, which I guarantee it would have been the highest. But that's the only show that, in my opinion, managed to get people excited about anything. All that good faith, though, from Mando Season 1 and 2 are all in the toilet. Nielsen viewership premiere average per episode in minutes. And if you want to take a look at that, it goes all the way down. Mandalorian Season 2, 1,032. Season 3, 823. Kenobi, 513. Ahsoka, 414. Boba Fett, 389. The Acolyte, 244. Andor, 208. That's pretty pathetic, if you ask me, and really shows you just how bad things are getting for Star Wars. Everything keeps going down. The only thing that it beat was Andor, and it's really just not by much. It's not. And how can anybody high up at Disney look at this and think, yeah, things are just fine. They're going on track. Kathleen Kennedy's doing a fine job. I don't know what's going on there. We've speculated for years. Nothing happens. It's almost like they're just going to let her run it into the ground. I have no other explanation for this other than they want to run it into the ground. It feels intentional. Why they think making this shift into identity and gender as the narrative themes for Star Wars is a good idea is beyond me. And they keep doing this shit. The Acolyte is the most in your face with it yet. And if you think it's going to stop with the Acolyte, you're insane. I think Leslie Headland probably gets to do another Star Wars property after this. I think they're actually happy with what she's doing because there is one thing that this show's doing that none of the other ones did, and that's grab that shipping audience that they really want for some reason. They really want that shipping audience. They're desperate to get it. You could see it with Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi. And in fact, somebody said that the Acolyte used the Kylo Ren Rey theme or something during one of the episodes. I don't know if that's true. I didn't catch that because all of that music's forgettable to me. Definitely John Williams' worst score, the sequel trilogy. I feel like he phoned that shit in. Maybe I'm the only one, but that was not his best work. So if that's true, please somebody confirm that because that's even more in your face. They close it out here. Obviously, what the data reveals is that there's a significant difference in popularity when comparing the top show, The Mandalorian, to what's at the bottom, The Acolyte. The data reveals that a majority of fans who watched The Mandalorian didn't tune in for The Acolyte or much of the other Star Wars shows. Nearly 75% weren't interested, as indicated by the significant 73.25% drop in viewership. Pretty sad. Look at all those people that tuned in for the season 3 of The Mandalorian. Man, that's crazy. And you lost all of them. That season did a number on the fan base. I do think that. Mandalorian season 3 was a shit show. Bringing Lizzo in for cameos. That's the future of Star Wars right there. Shipping and Lizzo cameos. That's a joke. Losing all this money. I'm here for it, man. I hope this show gets a second season. Keep wasting that money, Disney. You got your social media shippers. Maybe they can save it, but I got to ask, do they buy anything? Interesting future for Star Wars. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you in the comments. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.